Good morning, wherever you are. This is Pastor Sarah here again with another beautiful word of motivation, inspiration, and encouragement. And this morning, I'm going to be reading the book of Ruth, and I'm going to be focusing on the story of Naomi and Ruth. So it's going to be a little bit of long reading this morning. I'm going to be reading from chapter 1. I'll read from verse 11 all the way to verse 19. It's a pretty much long reading, but it has a story that we all can learn from. It has a story that we all can partake in, that we can learn something from this morning. This morning, let us read. You can read along with me. I'll be reading from the New King James Version of the Bible. This is it. I'll be reading from the New King James. If you have your Bible, your phone app, if you want to read along and do your own research, that will be good for you. I'll be reading Ruth chapter 1. I'll be reading from verse 11 all the way to verse 19. There where I will stop. And it reads, "But Naomi said, 'Turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there still sons in my womb, that they may be your husband? Turn back, my daughter. Go, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband tonight, and should also bear sons, could you wait for them till they were grown? Could you retain yourself from having husband? No, my daughter, for it grieves me very much for your sake that the hand of the Lord has gone against me." 14. Then they lifted up their voices and wept again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law. But Ruth clung to her, and she said, "Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her God. Turn after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave you, or to turn back from following after you. For where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death part you and me." 18. When she saw that she was determined to go with her, she stopped speaking to her. 19. Now the two of them went until they came to Bethlehem, and it happened when they had come to Bethlehem that all the city were excited because of them. And the women said, "Is this Naomi?" That was a long reading this morning, but it's powerful. This is the story of commitment and consistency. Commitment and consistency. When you read this story, Naomi, because there was a famine there came a time in Israel, there was no food in Israel at that time. So the people got to leave and go to the land of Moab. Naomi and her two sons and her husband, they went to the land of Moab looking for food, because at that time Israel had drought and other things were going on in Israel. When they went there, Naomi's husband died and her two sons died. But before her two sons died, they had wives with them, and one was Orpah and one was Ruth. To summarize the story, Naomi heard that things were getting better in Israel, because since this had happened to her husband died, her two sons died, she decided to go back home. Her two daughters decided to go with her, but one Orpah decided to stay. After she told Orpah, "Stay with your people, stay with your God," she told both of them to do the same. But Ruth said, "No, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to stick with you no matter what. I'm going to be with you." And Ruth stuck with her, was with her. They went back to Israel, to Bethlehem, and they were there. And remember, this Ruth, she's not an Israelite. She's a Moabite. She's not an Israelite. She was committed, dedicated, loyal mother-in-law. And because of her commitment and dedication to her mother-in-law, when you read the story of Ruth, when you read the last verse in chapter 4, coming down to verse 22, you get to understand that she became the great-great-grandmother of David, and you can trace her root back to Jesus. This is a woman who was in or Israelite, but she became the great grandmother of King David. That tells you that when you are committed and consistent to things, God can uplift you. No matter what, you don't have no talent, you don't have nothing, but just be committed to what you're doing. Without talent, commitment can take you places. You can be committed to that church. You can be committed to that job. You can be committed to whatever you do, and your commitment and dedication can take you places. There are people that have the talent, but they are not committed. They have the talent, but they are not committed. At the end of the day, they are going nowhere. You see them, they have all the talent, but they're going nowhere. But there are people who they don't have talent, they don't have nothing. All they have is commitment and dedication. And because of that commitment and dedication, they are going places. And that's what we need this morning. And that's the word this morning. God bless you this morning. Be committed. Be dedicated to whatever you do, to your calling, whatever you do. Be committed. That's the word this morning. God bless you and have a wonderful and a God blessed day. See you tomorrow.